Hey everyone, just want to say thank you for joining us on this hybrid session of SDA. We had a live event on Saturday and I'm just recording my session so you guys can have some content. So today we'll be talking about the Vita Axzent LC, which is a generally new product for both denture teeth, composite digital dentures, and also CAD CAM millables, hybrid ceramics that are on the market. So the first half of the lecture, I'll be talking about the general effects and what you can do with the kit, and a little bit of the instruction manual that's available both online on the Vita website and on our website as well. And then I'll do a hands-on demo both on the denture base and also on denture teeth, just so you can see some various applications. So this is not solely for CAD CAM or digital dentures. This can be also used on traditional denture work to characterize both the pink and the teeth material. So what is the Vita Axzent LC? It's a standing glaze system. It is a light cure standing glaze system, so hence the LC portion of Axzent LC. And because it's from Vita, it does match the classical and 3D shade guides. The one we have in stock at Swiss NF Metals is going to be the classical shade guide, which is known by most denturists. And so if you follow the Vita shade guide system, the classical Vita shade guide system, you can do shade replication with the system quite well. So it's two parts of the system. We have pink shading capabilities for Jinja, and then we also have two shading capabilities. So the bottles come like, I'll show them in the slides as such in a moment, but we'll go through the next slide, and here we go. So what can you use it for? You can use it for pretty much for shade effect replication. In essence, in layman's terms, you can replicate any shade from A, B, C, D. So you can go from an A shade all the way to a D shade. With very, very little and minimal work. It is a light cure system, so it's important to have the right light cure equipment, which we'll be talking about in this lecture. And you can use it on hybrid ceramics, CAD CAM composite, veneering composite, denture-based materials like PMMA, or prefabricated denture teeth as well. So just like for those who are in the audience, I know I had some technicians in the audience on the weekend. You can also use it for traditional staining glaze effects as you would on traditional PMMAs as well. So if you have a staining glaze background from dental technology, then you can definitely use your techniques and apply it to this as long as you light cure it. And then the system also gives some palettes and brushes. So in picture format, these are the various materials you can use it for. I'll be demoing it on denture teeth and some printable denture base, and also I'll be doing it on the printed hybrid ceramic that will be available soon through Swiss NF Metals as well. So this is indicated for long-term use. It's the one I've had in the mouth is about 1.5 years old now, with no other staining and traditional issues with staining glazings that have been on the market. So the peroxide that was normally associated with the yellowing of glazes and composite or staining glaze systems like GC OptiGlaze have been omitted because that material is no longer in this specific staining glaze system. So the yellowing that was renownedly accounted with this light cure staining glaze old systems, it has been removed and has greatly been improved with the staining glazing system. Okay, so essentially it's easy to use. It's easily modifiable, so you can adjust it easily, and it's very efficient, meaning that you don't have to spend a lot of time. We'll do a full arch for a hybrid ceramic arch later on the demo, and you'll see the results that you can produce with very minimal work. Because at the end of the line, sitting on the bench doing a bunch of layering is very, very difficult, and ultimately most of this will be for long-term temporary or all-on-4 long-term temporary uses where most of these indications will be. So you don't want to be spending too much time on your bench, okay? So, and then the results are durable. So essentially, the big complaint from GC OptiGlaze, which is competing company's product, was that it was not durable. It was changing color and it was also wearing off quite readily. The case that I have in the mouth has been doing really, really well, and the patient's not exactly the most hygienic. So this is kind of a real benefit to those who are already used to a staining glazing system. Okay, so you can go from multiple shade jumpings, and if you want to get really detailed on effects, because the number one complaint for digital dentures is that the teeth look quite dead. In the demo, after this quick brief presentation, I will be starting from a bleach shade, and we'll probably be going all the way to an A3 kind of shading situation. So we'll take a look at that. Okay, so as you can see, this working instruction manual is actually online. Vita Zahnfabrik. So if you want to download the working instructions for the tooth effects and also for the gingival effects, the working instructions are in picture format. Just follow along. It's literally paint by numbers, and you can literally follow along and get these effects quite readily. And this is not just for experienced composite users. This is also for novice composite users as well. We had someone who was a new user on the weekend on Saturday, and she tried it for the first time, and she got pretty cool really accurate shading results with very minimal experience to the product. Okay. So, whoop, that's my dishes in the back. Okay, facts and features. As you can see in these videos, this is the shade effects you can produce. You can go from definitely, as you can see from top, the major issues with the competing product GC Opticals was the browning or staining of the product. And as you can see with thermocycling at 55 degrees Celsius and with some coffee staining, there's not a lot of issues with the staining. So this is definitely a benefit to this glazing system compared. And the nice part about this, which is unlike any of the other staining glazing systems which I used, is very similar to ceramics, where you place the colors don't move. What I mean by that, GC Opticals was kind of runny, and if you applied one color on top of each other, it would tend to muddle and get kind of brown. So it was very hard to get shade accuracy because you had to cure the layers in between layering, or essentially light cure the layers to set the color. In this case, you can apply or float the colors on top of one another. So you can do multiple color layers without step curing the actual composite. So you can move quite quickly through shade effects. Okay. Okay, so we're moving on. And then obviously wear is a big thing. So it has, it's also a hybrid ceramic, so it has quite a bit of fillers. So definitely with random, with toothbrushing and normal everyday wear, definitely this is a durable product compared to the other competing products on the market. Okay. So tea, coffee, and that sort of thing. And then as you can see by the shade system, which is also online, if you want to download the shade system, these are the shade effects. This is the classical shade system, which I'll be going through over here, A, B, C, and D. There's also the 3D shade system, which we do not have at Twisted Knife Metals, but if you need to get it, we can get it for you. And then I'll also be going through a small kit available to do the gingiva effects. The kit that I'll be showing is the kit that I put together. If you call Twisted Knife Metals and ask for the kit that I put together, it's quite a bit cheaper than buying two full kit systems, and it's also the common colors that are available for us as dental technicians, because we're not going to use a whole bunch of kits that are available, colors that are available in the kit. So generally speaking, I don't use the blacks or the purples, but if you need these colors, we can. I just want to show a simplified kit. So it's very easy to enter the system without too much cost. And most of you that have an Asiga on the market also have the equipment ready to cure it. So the auto flash is definitely totally capable of curing this composite. So if you already are printing with the Asiga or have an auto flash in-house, that's definitely going to be the right light cure machine for that. That is a big point. The GC optical system, but also the Vita system needs proper light curing systems. The number one failing of the system is improper light curing. That would be the biggest complication to light curing glaze, insufficient equipment or insufficient light source to the actual material. So you'll see me use these brushes in my demo, and the brushes that I'm using in the demo are actually disposable modeling brushes. They're 0-0 brushes. I use disposable brushes because it doesn't contaminate my next set of paintings. So I just dispose of the brush when I finish my staining. I don't reuse or try to clean my brushes. What I clean with isopropyl alcohol. And the interesting part of this staining system as well is also it is self-glazing, meaning that all of the colors are also glazes. So if you fully cover the restoration, they will produce a high luster, shine, and polish. So this is not an issue with the other systems that are on the market. You would have to do a top glaze. And so this is kind of a benefit to this system, is that if you cover the whole surface with the colors, it's not necessary to top glaze the system. All right, moving on. This is what the kits that are available. We have the classical kit that are available for you guys, which is the one we carry. And then the standard kit is an effects kit. So if you're already used to porcelain kit systems, this is like the expert kit and then the effects kit. Very similar to the accent staining kit. Okay, well, we got people in the background that are making a lot of noise. I'm sorry. So sorry about that, guys. And if you need more information about these systems, just give us a shout and ask for Mark or me, and I can walk you through the system as well. So that's not a big deal. So just to review before we go to the demo, it's shade accurate. You can use it on multiple materials. It also can be combined with other light curing systems. So if you're a Nexco user or another composite user like the GC Gradiagum you can use these for internal effects. This is just not just a staining glaze system for external staining, but also for internal staining as well. So you can use it for internal effects as well. So you can get a lot of work out of what you're using already. So that's not an issue. And you can also combine it with traditional flowable composites. So I know a lot of my friends also have other composite systems on the market. I'm just going to pause for 1 second. Hold on. Hey, Hetty, I'm lecturing. So sorry about that, guys. So you can combine it with other already existing, like your systems like Braident. I know my friend Lisa, who's lecturing on the Saturday, was also teaching the Braident system. You can supplement these colors with this kit as well, because it is also a light curing glaze and stain system. Okay. And then polishing, a lot of questions I get on polishing. Yes, you can pumice and polish this if you do, but if you do, just do it lightly. I generally just try to layer and try to get the final polish into the final texture that I prefer. I try not to pumice afterwards, but a light polish with a buff with high shine compound will be more than enough to get into a high gloss. I generally cure with nitrogen gas. For those who are using the auto flash, I use 1,000 shots or 1,000 flashes with nitrogen for final cure. Again, that's 1,000 flashes with nitrogen for final cure. If you're step curing and you don't have enough experience and you are layering the colors, then between layers, you can do 200 flashes with no gas. But again, 1,000 shots for final cure with nitrogen will remove the tackiness or stickiness. If not, then, and you're using another light cure machine without nitrogen, that is a validated light cure, you can use the cover gel, which I do sell, which is a glycerin-based gel to remove the air inhibition layer so you don't have any stickiness on the top surface. Okay, so that's a brief overview of the actual system. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the actual demo now. I'm just going to switch my camera. So give me 1 moment as I switch, and Bahar's going to pop on and let me know that it's working. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to close this real quick. And slow and show. Here we go. Stop sharing. And I'm just going to switch my camera. So here we go. Give me 1 second. Is that working now? Is it showing my?
Yeah, I can see.
And it's in frame?
Yeah, it's in the frame. It's good.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to go quickly before we actually do the demo. I'm going to show you the kit that I'm using, which is the kit that we sell as a kit that I put together. So the kit that I have together is about 9 colors. It comes with, just gonna get this into focus. We have an A, B, C, and D shade. Okay, there we go. Just gonna focus again, give me a second.
I think it's too close, that's why it doesn't focus.
Just gonna back it out real quick, hold on. It's also really bright in my room. That's fine. Okay, so we got a D shade like that, and we have a C shade like that, and we have a B, and we have an A. Okay, then for the pinks, we have the dark red and the pink. Okay, and then we have a gray blue and a cream. And there's one more color that's also part of the kit, which is a russet. So generally speaking, these are all the colors that come with the kit I put together. Just ask for the Mark kit at Swiss, and you can pretty much do everything I'm showing for traditional everyday effects, both for all restorations. Okay, so that's the 9-bottle kit. Or you can buy the full system if you'd like, if you choose to do that, but I find that most of us will not use most of the colors. Okay. Okay, we'll start with the printed base, and then we'll get to some more practical things because most of us are not staining gingiva base. So just like ceramics, you can mix the staining glaze system. So we'll start with the pink, okay, and also the cream. So these are the 3 colors I'm going to be using, and maybe a little bit of the gray blue. So this is for the gingiva. So again, this could be a printed base, this could be a milled base, or this could be also traditional denture base acrylic. A little tip for you guys that are doing this kind of staining work, I like to work with a little bit of a more opaque shade, so like a Candular shade 34, or a preference or USP shade for hypercolor users. Okay, so back canvas needs to be a little bit more opaque, not like a really translucent acrylic like Impact 20, maybe too translucent for staining, but everybody has their own style. So we'll start with the pinks. So just make sure the ball has a little ball bearing at the bottom. Just make sure you shake it well. That's really important. So I'm just going to shake it off frame so we don't shake the camera. So just make sure that's shaken really well so that the pigments are not chunky. Okay. And we're going to put 3 drops into the well. I also dose out the drops quite in small amounts so it doesn't cure prematurely. Try to work with not overhead LED lighting, then you'll prevent this from curing. So 3 drops, almost like a 75% ratio, maybe 2 drops of the opaque, which is the cream. A lot of the complaints that I get from using the system is that it's not enough coverage, like it's not covering. You need to mix it to get more opaque, otherwise you won't get any coverage. So mix this well. Okay, so this is a dark pink situation. Okay, perfect. And this is a light pink or lighter pink situation. If you find that that's not enough intensity, you can add more colors, but this is just for the demo. So then a little bit of the blue. Just move the camera a little closer. Try to do the exposure here. Let's try to do this again. There we go. Okay. So do you need to use a bonder? No, generally you don't need to use a bonder. I'm just going to put a little bit of glaze just so you can see what I'm doing, guys. But some people always ask me, if you don't use a bonder, will it come off? It may. So if you don't have a clean surface, I do sandblast the surface with 50 micron aluminum oxide before. In this case, it's for a demo, so I did not. But if you're not sure, you can also use this product from Central Dental. This is VisioLink. Make sure you use non-expired stuff. Thanks, Lisa. But this is a VisioLink composite primer, which I use for all my composites and PMMA. And you can use it to bond the glaze on. That's not in the IFU for Vita. That's just my tip. So use your discretion, but follow the instructions definitely. Okay, so let's start. So a little bit of the blue here, where the attached gingiva is, just a little bit. The tip I can give you guys is less is definitely more, so don't use too much. Okay. Spectrum Day Toronto is coming around the corner. I'll be doing booth demos at the table as well. So if you want to see this up and close in person, or if you want to try the system, come by the booth, say hi, and then I'll have a bunch of demos so you guys can try out before you buy, if you try to use it. So try it at our booth. I'll have all the equipment there, and ask me some questions if you need to. So like I said before, it's kind of nice because you can just layer the next color on and it won't get muddled. So again, I use dark, a little bit of the dark. If you find that this red is not intense enough, you can actually use the red stain directly if you want. Okay. So let's do that. A little bit of the red. Okay. So as you can see, it's not really muddling, it's just floating there, which is kind of nice. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so what I said about step curing is if you're really happy with the colors and you're going to apply the other layer and you're not so sure, you can throw this in the light cure, your auto flash for about 100 shots or 200 shots without gas. I'm just going to step cure it on the side of the frame, just so you guys won't get flashed by the light. Okay, so we're back for a moment. And then I apply this more opacious or opaque pink situation to the surface. Now, this is not a flowable composite, so this is just colors on the surface. So it's really important that you make your design or your denture to full contour, meaning that's to the full texture of what you want to do so that you don't have any issues because you're not cutting back the acrylic. This is the final shape. So unlike flowable composites like Gradiagum, Annexdent, or the Vita Flow, these are just paints or surface paints. So you need to have the full contour ready and available to you. Okay, so a little bit there. You can see that the color is changing quite readily. There we go, and that to that. Also for patients that have like heavy pigments, it's also possible to do some pigmented effects for Mahari shades. So that's kind of nice. Okay, so the next color we're going to go for is we're going to go for the lighter pink situation here, which was my pink with 3 drops of pink with 2 drops of the cream. So we'll mix this and apply it into the prominence area like this. Okay. Obviously, this is just a demo. I would have had my denture teeth in here. So for those who are doing digital dentures, this is the top half, but we're going to do the tooth side in 1 second, okay? Okay. So just wipe this off. 1 second. So most of the times I'm using this product when I'm doing partials. So we'll do shade matching for a tooth in 1 moment. Okay. So as you can see, moving pretty fast. We're not getting any muddling with the colors, which is really nice. Okay, so just gonna put it side by side. As you can see, the effects are changing quite a bit now. Just a little bit more. And like I said, it's really easy to add. So if you find you want a little bit more red in these proximal areas, just do a little bit more red, and you won't have any issues. Just like that. But honestly, for the effects, less is more. So try not to go too aggressive, guys. Okay. Okay. I'll just show you what we have here in a small amount of time. Okay. And then this was the starting shade. And then I obviously would light cure this. Okay, so like I said, it's self-glazing. So this high gloss finish after light curing, you could just buff it with some high shine polishing base or diamond polishing base on a handpiece buff, cotton buff. The ones that I use for my cotton buff are buff from Renfert for my handpiece, and just low speed is more than enough. The polishing material that I use that I prefer is the here. It's from DVA and it's called, oh, it's just on the top of my head. I can't find it now. Give me 1 second. It is, I'll get back to you guys on that. Sorry. One, hang tight. All right, sorry guys, just back there, the material that I use for polishing composites is the same stuff I used to use in the lab for polishing zirconia, and this is Zircon Bright, which is available from Central Dental. My good friends at Central Dental carry this product, so this is Zircon Bright, or you can use diamond polishing paste just with a buff. Okay, sorry, just had to go off frame for that. Let's just focus. So again, if it's all glazed, another tip that I can give you to give a little bit of texture is that you can dab your micro brush. So if you want a little bit of surface texture, you can apply the glaze a little bit, like so. And then just dab your brush like this. And then it will not stipple the surface, but it'll just break up the glaze so it has this mirror shining polish, okay? So that's just with the pink base. Okay, so I'm just gonna switch colors now. Same kit, different colors. We'll do printed base or hybrid ceramic or any printed temporary material. So this is the target shade is a bleach. Let me get my shade tab out for you guys. Give me 1 second. Sorry about the background noise, guys. Give me 1 moment. Whoop. Sorry, it's coming. There we go. Okay, so let's see where we are on the shade tab here. Probably a B1 and whiter. This is like a bleach shade. Let's see, where are we going? So we got a uber white shade. Let's go for like an A shade. Okay, look an A4. or an A2. Shoot for an A2 kind of situation with this. Okay. So what are we gonna do for an A2? Then we need some A. So we start with the brown. Get and shake it well. Do this a little bit. Okay, we're gonna use a little bit of the russet. So the russet shade. Okay. The russet. Focus. Cool. And then for the incisal, we're gonna use a little bit of the gray blue. And then cream. Okay, just so you guys can see the surface, I'm gonna just apply a little bit of glaze so you can see the non-shininess, okay? Not necessary to do this, but it's not gonna show up on camera, so let me just do that. Hi, I'm live on lecture, can you, sorry guys. Okay, so let me just do this for you guys. Oh guys, sorry. All right, so just so you can see the colors, this is our starting shade, very, very white and opacious. Okay, so here we go. We start with a little bit of the A on the cervical neck. You can always add, so don't go too crazy. The worst is adding too much and then you can't take it off. So work in layers. Okay. Okay, what is our target shade again? Our target shade is like an A shade. Let's go back to our shade tab here real quick. One second, guys, sorry. There we go, okay, here we go. Go for a 2M2 kind of situation. So we need a little bit more chroma, but you can see the color is changing slowly. Okay, so go a little bit more. Okay. All right, so even for a temp, this is more than enough. But if you want to go a little bit more, you definitely go a little bit of brown interproximally. Okay, so just dirty it up a little bit. Okay. So for those who are doing digital dentures, this is generally the weak area for digital dentures is interproximally. So just try to break it up with a little bit of brown, not too much, so it doesn't look like it's staining, just like a stain effect, just interproximal like this. So I'll just let this focus, and you can see the color change quite readily. Okay. And then for those who are a little bit more advanced in some composite work, we can do a little bit of blue or gray blue on the incisal just to fake the translucency. So just do a little bit. And go a little bit aggressive for the camera so you guys can see it, but don't go too hard. Okay. Less is more, guys, so don't go too crazy. Okay. So you can see that. The blue, hope that's showing up on camera. Let's go a little bit more so you guys can see. Go a little bit more aggressive on the canine. That's too much.
We can see that.
You can? It's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Perfect. So a lot of times my friends are always will say that you need a lot of experience to do this. Honestly, if you can paint your nails, if you're into nail painting, this is pretty much it. It's paint by colors. It's exactly like painting your nails. It's like your nail paints, but for teeth. So if your girlfriend or your wife has nail colors, then time to practice, guys. And if you're a girl and you're ready to do your nails, you already can do this. But hey, if you're a guy and you like to wear nail polish too, no problem as well. So that's just a little bit of the effects. And then you can also put a little bit of white to break out the blue, just for some mamelon effects. So again, I'm just gonna go a little bit more aggressive so you guys can see. If you guys are coming to Spectrum Montreal next week, I'll be doing the same demo at the table. So if you want to meet me, see me do it live, you want to try it yourself, you totally can do that too. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just going to put this in a clip so you guys can see this. Get out of the way. So I'm just going to get this out of the way so you guys can see, and I'm just going to focus. I'll just do it like this. Let's put it down so you can focus and just cover it. There you go. A little bit bright. So if you can see that, you can see the effects there too. So we have a little bit of blue, a little bit of the cream inside, and then we have the chroma and the incisal neck. If you want to make it even crazier, like an older tooth, you can actually put the brown on the neck just a little bit to break up the actual tooth. But to be honest, for North American dentistry, this is a little bit too aggressive and most of our patients won't like this. But you can see that with very, very small amount of work, you get a lot of effects. So again, just to see, we started from a very bleach, opaque kind of situation. And then with very small, limited work, we got into more translucency. The brown's a little bit too aggressive. Okay, like this. And then if you couple it together with your base, so if you're doing digital dentures, we obviously did the opposite side. You can quite see the big difference here too. So as you can see, we did it in reverse. I'll just hold this so you guys can see. There we go. So we have, this is the starting shade, which is a bleach, or this could be sculpture from Rodin. This could be T-Tax Temp. They could be Denka High Impact or whatever, or milled, for example, milled denture base, which we'll do next. And then this is with the small effects that we did on camera. And then our target shade was an A shade, so we can go close. It's not bad. So we went from a bleach to almost an A shade or A2 shade, which very limited work with. I am not a ceramist by any means. And then for the gingiva, we went from a very base looking shade to more Mahari purple shade. So that's not bad with the small kit. Okay, I'm gonna move this to the side. So this is on a milled base, printed base, milled teeth or printed teeth. And then I'm gonna switch to a denture tooth now. Okay, so we go for a denture tooth now. Similar kind of effect. You need to realize that with a denture tooth, the surface is quite glazed, so you need to break that glaze up. You can break the glaze up with burrs that I sell from Wagner. There are Wagner Rotary sells a Scotch-Brite burr, which I don't have beside me right now, but I will show you in a moment, and then you can just break up the glaze. As long as it's rough, if you have a sandblaster, then you can definitely use the sandblaster as well. 50 micron aluminum oxide, try not to touch it with your fingers like this, because then you'll grease it up, so make sure they're clean. If you do steam clean it, make sure it's 100% dry before you apply composite, or else you'll get bubbles everywhere. So we'll do the denture tooth now. Let me just focus. There we go. So this tooth here is already prepped. So this is a 1M1. So we'll do, let's just say, a C tooth shade. So just so you guys can see. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. We started with an A shade, but this time we're gonna use a D. We're gonna make a 1M1 a D shade, like maybe a D2. Okay, so again, same technique as we did with the printed. On the neck, apply, do a reverse, sorry, I can't do this in reverse. Apply it in a downward stroke, like this. Okay, you can see the change drastically changes quite readily. That's only one coat. And then for the chroma on the neck, just go a little bit heavier, and then a little bit heavier, just like this. Okay, I'm just gonna bring you a Vita shade tab for a C shade, just so you can see the comparison of where we're going with this. So give me one moment here. Shade tab's a mess, excuse me, for one moment. So let's go for like a C2 or 3L 1.5. So you can see that it's quite close to a C shade, and this is a 3L 1.5 or C2 D4. So we went from a 1M1 to a C shade with 2 strokes of the brush, which is very, very cool. For those who are using PMAs, this is a good way to save your stock on PMAs. You can go from like an A1 all the way to a C shade. So you don't have to stock so many PMA pucks because we know that's very expensive. Also, not to get translucency or different effects with a milled tooth, you can do one tooth more, the canine's more dark. So this kind of brings more life to a milled restoration, which is a major complaint for digital dentures, is that the teeth look kind of dead. So again, this is only one color. Again, we go for the same technique we learned earlier with a little bit of blue. It's a little bit of blue on the incisal edge. Now, denture teeth already have translucency, so it's really not necessary to do so much of this, but if you so desire, you can definitely do that. That's not a problem as well. So a little bit of blue, and again, with the white effects, this time we'll go a little bit more aggressive. So we'll do some fluorosis, a little bit of fluorosis situation like this. Okay, a little bit more. It's a little bit too aggressive, so let's just break it up a little bit. Okay, just like this. And as you can see, with little to not too much work, we have some serious effects that happen. So these really subtle effects. Okay. And if you look here, we went from a 1M1 to a quite an aged tooth in very short amount of time. Again, light cure this, and then high shine with the actual polish that I said here. Again, to review, this polish zircon bright on a cotton buff is just going to bring this to a high luster shine. Okay, so if you're using the auto flash, make sure you cure this for, again, 1,000 shots with gas, and then you'll have a nice hardened surface that is pretty much impenetrable. But if you don't have the right light cure machine, then you'll have premature staining, which is a major complaint from composites. So that's a denture tooth. So what can we do with this? If you have an existing partial and you're doing a tooth repair, which is something that we always do, or a flipper, for example. Let me see what I can have here. A flipper situation, which is very difficult to shade match for us, for a denturist. You definitely can use that to shade match. You can print or put a denture tooth there and then shade the tooth to match the existing dentition, which has fluorosis or some smoker stain. So that's a very practical use for this case. In this case, for most denturists that I spoke with on the weekend, all you would need to have a shading kit in your system to shade bump teeth would be this right here. Again, we sell these in all individual bottles, so it's not necessary to buy everything. You literally can do A, B, C, D, okay? And then you have the ability to shade denture teeth like we just did here, up or down. Okay, let me just refocus one more time. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Okay, same thing with the lower. We could do the same effect for the lower. So I prepped these two teeth. So this is the same 1M1 matching shade. So as you can see, it's changing quite readily. And then in the lower, we can go for like a D. We did a D shade. Let's go for a C. Let's go maybe C. Let's do a C shade just to show you guys the full context. Okay, so we did a D or a C shade, and then we'll do D shade. We'll do a D shade. Just get a D shade, gray red. Okay, so we'll do the C shade. So now we'll do a D shade. So similar technique. Okay, again, prep your tooth, aluminum oxide, or roughen it. Stroke your strokes. There we go. Get the shade tab out so you guys can see where I'm going with this. We're going for a D shade, so let's go find a D. D4. Let's go for a D3. So it's a D3 target like this. So we're going to go a little bit more chroma. We're not there yet. We'll get another layer. That's okay. Like I said before, if you don't shake the bottle, there's going to be no pigment in it in your actual glaze. So make sure you do shake it. Okay. There we go. That's better now. Okay, so we have a D shade like this. I can hear you, Julian. So you can actually mix the glazes too if you need more intensity, no problem. Like this. Perfect. And then same technique, a little bit of the blue on the inside of the edge. Like this. Okay. And if you want to get crazy, you can even do some cracks, but I need my scalpel for that, which I can't do right now. A light crack. Do it. There we go. And then break it up with a little bit of white or cream. Cream effects. Okay. So if you look carefully, I'm just going to push this so you guys can see it. There we go. So you can see very limited amount of work. We went from this is a 1M1 starting shade. We had a C shade, T shade and C shade on this one. And then, like I said, if you're going for a more aged tooth, you can put a little bit more brown stain interproximally, especially for longer partials with teeth that are really stained around the neck. This is super practical because sometimes not all our patients want to match, and some of our patients want bleach white teeth, but there are some cases where, yeah, you're gonna have a hard time matching a denture tooth. A denture tooth does not produce like this. So this is definitely a practical approach because with a small kit, definitely get all these effects. So a little bit more intense. Let's go a little bit more. And then a little bit of fluorosis. I just use my nail as a palette a little bit there too. There we go. So if I just show, there we go. And the nice part about light cure stains is if you make a mistake, it's okay. You can just wipe it off. No big. Try again. There you go. So we have a little bit of fluorosis in the tooth, just like that. So that's a denture tooth application. So we have 2 applications so far. Oops, just banged the camera. Sorry, let's back it out just a little bit. Sorry. So we have denture tooth applications. We have denture base applications like this. Okay. So this could be a traditional denture base, milled or printed denture base. And then we have milled teeth and then let's put everything together, which is what most of my tech friends are going to be using the system for, is long-term temporaries. So the same technique that we learned before. I'm just going to focus. Sorry. So if we go for a milled temporary like this could be a milled or printed temporary. In this case, this is a hybrid ceramic temporary. Just going to clean my brushes real quick. And then we'll do the whole arch, whole quarter of arch, just to show you the combination of what we can do. So that would be the 2 kits, which is the pink and the 2 shade. Okay, we'll use it on a full arch. And I'll move quite quickly. I'll try not to talk too much. Just put the glaze on so you guys can see what I'm doing. Back it out a little bit. I think we're okay, Bahar. Doing okay? Yeah?
Yeah, we're good.
Good. Okay, so let me
Are we
just work
good on the
this.
timing?
I think so. I'm not really timing it, so you let me know. I don't know. I think so. I'm not sure.
It's been going on for the 8 minutes.
Okay, so just gonna finish up this arch and then we can wrap it up. Okay, is that good?
Okay.
Okay. So again, sandblast and aluminum oxide. You can use the bonder if you want. If you don't want to buy another thing, you could just use the glaze a little bit, just all over, just to see what the base color is. So just so you guys can see on the camera, I'm just gonna apply some glaze just so you can see the base shade or wet surface. Okay. Okay, so just wet the surface lightly, just so you can see what the color you're working with. Just with my brush because I can't really see what I'm doing. Sorry. 1 second. There we go. Just a light, just to wet the surface, and then see what surface texture you're working with. Also, like I said before, try to get the surface texture to where you want it. And in the case, I'm going to be doing gingiva and also tooth shades at the same time. If you don't have enough experience, I would say do the 2 shades first. So just for the sake of real life, we can go A shade. So again, A shade and some blue. Okay. So same thing, just a little bit of the A chroma on the neck, drag it down. A chroma, drag it down. Like this. A chroma, drag it down. Okay. A chroma, drag it down. A chroma, drag it down. A chroma, drag it down. Like this. Okay. I would normally do the teeth first if you're going to do gingiva work too, and then cure the teeth, tack cure it so it doesn't move, and then do the pink afterwards so it doesn't bleed all over the place because those are 2 aggressively different colors. Okay, so that's the chroma. Then a little bit of blue on the incisal edge. this. A little bit of the blue. A little bit of the blue. A little bit of the blue. And backside. Take a little bit of the aggressive staining interproximal, like this. Okay. Then we break it up with a little bit of white. Sorry, I got fluffs on my brush. Like this. Okay. Then a little bit of brown. Okay. Brown or russet shade. Like that. That's too much. Should pick it up. You can also use an endo file, guys. If you guys, some of the ceramics use endo files to do staining, you can totally use that too. The brush is not fine enough. Okay. That's too much. Too far. Okay. So you can see that's changing quite readily. We start from the same bleach and we're going into almost translucent shading. I'm going a little aggressive for the camera because it's really hard to pick up on camera. But as you can see, it is changing. Just gonna go a little bit more aggressive just so you guys can see it. Okay. Okay. So that's too much in the middle. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna tack here real quick on the side of the frame. 1 second. Here we go. You can use also your handheld to do tacking if you want. I'm using on the side. That's not enough to cure everything, but it is definitely enough to tack it so it doesn't move all over the place. So same technique that we used before. This is the same that we talked about earlier. This is actually starting to set a little bit. That's okay. If it's a little thick, you still can use it. Just apply the red interproximal. This is the dark red again. Do a little bit of effect. If you texturize this too, the stain will actually stay put better. So I would suggest you roughen up the surface as well so it doesn't slide all over the place. Okay. Okay, so let's just go a little bit more aggressive so we can do this quickly. A couple more minutes and then we're done. Just want to show you in real time how fast you can move. Obviously it takes some time if you're doing this in real life, but to be honest, guys, most of our temporary work, we're on a time crunch. So for those who are doing long-term temporaries, this is a really time-consuming procedure with layered composites. So it's actually quite a pain in the butt to do. So I do like the system because it's really fast and you can definitely train a junior technician how to do this. It doesn't need a lot of work. I'm by no means the best at this stuff. So to be honest, I'm pretty sure you guys out there will do better work than I, but the fact that I can do this live while talking, definitely if you're on your bench on your own, you definitely can do this faster. So, okay, so there we go. Coverage is pretty fast, but this is not the opacious shade. So I'm gonna put a little bit of blue behind just a touch and then attack here it and then do the final. So just spot the blue a little bit right there, just randomly, no problem. If you go too much with the blue, it'll turn purple, so maybe not too much. Okay. Just gonna cover that. So you can see we're moving pretty fast now. And then back to our opaque mix, which is this reddish. We need a little bit more, so I'm just gonna make a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, okay. And 2 drops of the cream. And this time we'll just use 1. It's a little too pink last time. There we go, that's better. So 3 drops. Just gonna cure it off frame real quick, okay? So a little tack here. Show you guys what we're doing here. Okay, so I didn't bring it up all the way up. We're still gonna do that. Now we're gonna cover it with this dark pinkish situation. So for those who are doing like liquid ceramics, this is very similar to liquid ceramics. I know it's really intense on camera, but I just want to show up. So just let it float like this. Perfect. Just bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. This. Okay. Like so. Trying to get a little closer now, a little bit more finessed. So try not to muddle on your teeth because you don't have the ability to do a margin because these are flowable ceramics. So just be careful now. Okay, I'm just gonna show you what we're doing here. Just let that focus real quick. This does look a little bit better in there we go. You can see that now. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna tack it just a little bit. Just a touch. So I can get a little bit of texture going on. Okay, so we're gonna use the lighter pink now. And do your prominence like this. Okay. This is why it's really important to do the full contour texture, because if you don't, you won't have any body. This is just gonna make no contour. So like here, we don't have enough contour in the design and it's just flowing everywhere. So just make sure you have enough of the design. So definitely it's important to know your wax up skills in your CAD design software, which Lisa talked about on the weekend. It's important that you know your CAD design software. You can't expect this to build up the texture that you want because this is just paint. This is just makeup, essentially, okay? So if the foundation underneath the makeup is not good, then you're gonna have some really crappy makeup. So make sure your foundation applications are really good. In this case, the foundation application will be your CAD design or your canvas. Okay. So just a little bit more. Like this. Perfect. Bring it down. Okay. So essentially about 10 minutes now, and we're almost halfway through the arch. So full arch you can probably do in about 30 to an hour. I would say an hour is more realistic, to be honest. For those who are more proficient, definitely can do it in half an hour, which, you know, you're definitely making money here because you don't want to spend hours and hours on this layering because this is a long-term temporary mostly. Okay, so if you look at that, just a little bit more. To mix a little bit more, so just give me a second, guys. Again, shake your bottle. 1, 2, 3. 1 drop of the cream. Stir well. Like this. There we go. Okay, same thing. Let's go finish this off. There we go. Okay. And then you don't want aggressive lines, so just smooth it out. Okay. Okay, just the last tip that I gave earlier, if you want to break it up because it is quite streaky, because the brush, just take a clean micro brush, just dab these areas just to break up. There we go. You get some texture. little bit too intense here. It's okay, we can just float back. Okay, so let's just show you what we got. There we go. Sorry guys, it's a little bright. Let me see if I can cover it just a touch so you guys can see. There we go. Just exposure, just a touch up. Let's see. Let's go closer. See if you guys can see that. And just focus. There we go. So you can see the starting shade was this bleach color. And then with, you know, on camera, not bad. We got quite a lot of effect. There we go. It's quite a lot of effects and texture there too. So again, just in Zapier real quick. Then the final touch. Again, back to a little bit of brown. Just to give it a little bit of separation here. A little bit of the russet stain, like this. The russet. Just push it into the roll. Just to give it some separation. Okay, last bit in the corner. Okay, so as you can see now, I'll just clean this up a little bit. It's very minimal work, and then we're wrapping up now because I think we're going on for too long, but we definitely did quite a bit of work. So you can see this, the starting shade was a very bleach. We did the 2 shades with our A system, did some incisal effects, and then we did quite a bit of gingiva, so 2 color gingiva works, just a dark pink and light pink with our small kit that I sell at Swiss. And then we light cure final light cure glaze. Again, 1000 shots in your auto flash. And then we have a pretty aesthetic long-term temporary situation, which was done with 0 layering. This is just stain and glaze light cure system. So it's a pretty cool system. So just to review what we did in the small session, even though the lighting is really poor, sorry. Do this again, I'll bring it down so you guys can see and focus again. Oof, bad lighting. Let's try again.
Much light.
Too much light, I know. I'm back it out a little bit. Try that. So. And it's too much light. Let's cover it a little bit. There we go. I'll just cover it with my hand. So again, to review, we did denture teeth like this. Get all this junk out of the way so you guys can see. We did denture teeth. We did a milled PMMA temporary or printed temporary. We did denture teeth and denture base like this we did earlier. So quite a vast amount of things we did in our small session today. So again, this is just a review. This is the Vita Axzent LC, which is sold by Swiss Metals, Central Dental, and Den Plus. I think Henry Schein sells it as well. So if you want a demo of this, you can also contact your Vita rep and they can bring your kit. So Brendan Halensky or Sean Acoin, and Brigitte in Montreal, Quebec is also there too. I forgot the other rep's name, and that's pretty much that for today. I think that's pretty good. Bahar, are we okay for time? That's okay?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mark.
Okay,
right on.
All right.
An hour.
All right, guys, you guys have a great day. I hope this was helpful and useful to you guys. Hope to see you guys around at the shows. And please come to Spectrum Toronto. We'll be doing a live demos. Register. It's totally free. It's on the Friday, October 20th. And I was going to say like and subscribe, but I don't have a YouTube channel, so it doesn't really matter. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Bye.
Bye.